And welcome to the Hall Priest Universe. I'm King HP, also known as Father, and today we have an episode. We have the second Flash trailer, so we have some stuff to talk about. Seriously. But before I get into all that, let's talk about this Eye of Agamotto, right? Doctor Strange Eye of Agamotto. This could be yours. Details for how to win, how to enter are going to be at the end of the video. So stay tuned to the end of the video and we'll go through all that then. But let's jump right into the Flash trailer, okay? So the trailer, it opens up with the Bat Cave, and they're doing a lot of promoting of Michael Keaton. And some people would say, okay, let's compare this to not Multiverse of Madness, right? Spider-Man No Way Home, right? Spider-Man No Way Home, we didn't know Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were in it confirmed until we saw the movie. We had 99, 95, 90% speculation. Actors saying they weren't in it, giving analogies of why they're not in it. Specifically Andrew Garfield about the werewolf and all that. But see, the Flash has a different perspective, right? And the whole body of work for them is changed dramatically. One, they have less films, right? As to where Marvel took a 10-year road. Secondly, they have a big Ezra Miller problem. And the Ezra Miller problem with the charges that he has acquired and the current state of the United States and stuff like that with cancel culture. Let's promote Michael Keaton. What better way, right? Because people, that old nostalgic Batman. I mean, if you look at Spider-Man No Way Home, that kind of proved it, right? Like, you brought back Tobey Maguire, you brought back Andrew Garfield. Now, let's look at this. Michael Keaton's Batman came out in like 1989. So if you were to bring him, the nostalgia will blow. I was a child. I'm not saying I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a couple of, a little salt, a lot of pepper. So it is what it is. But let's be real here, okay? 1989 is what, 34 years ago? So you bring back an actor that's 34 years removed, right? People have these debates. Who's the best Batman? Christian Bale, George Clooney, Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, Adam West, you know what I mean? But Mark Hamill. But the thing about it is, with the movies like this, you get to see that. So anyway, we get a young Flash, and I like what they're doing here. We'll come back to that Batman stuff in a second. I like what they're doing with the Flash because what happens is you're getting blue and yellow Flash, right? If you notice, you see in the trailer, one generates yellow, and then you see like blue generation of lightning. The blue is going to represent the new guy. We've been seeing Flash with yellow. You see him in the trailer, you see the new suit, but you still know it's our Flash. He generates yellow. I mean, that's been what he's been generating from day one. But to differentiate, so there's no confusion, you have the blue. Now, let me go put the spoiler warning out, right? There's a spoiler warning because if you don't want to, I have speculation, but I also have proof of who the villain is. Like, let's be clear. Like, I'm about to drop it. I'm about to drop it. Okay. So spoiler warning. All right. You may have to fast forward the video a little bit, right? If you don't want it and you want to continue with the video, but you still here? All right, cool. So after I gave the spoiler warning, right? It's Dark Flash. It's Dark Flash, right? And they made it so it's not Zoom. They made it so it's not Reverse Flash because they want to be able to combine characters if they want to. They want to be able to tell their own unique stories without saying, okay, we use Reverse Flash. And when we say we use Reverse Flash, you immediately pull your comic book story. You immediately pull your CW stories, right? But by saying it's Dark Flash, you don't really. Well, what's that? What's that, right? So, and we see that, right? We see some of the look from the marketing, toys. What better way? I was in Walmart. I seen it, right? So, With that being said, they have to find a way to differentiate the colors so we're not so confused on screen. Now, there's a lot of pre-screenings, a lot of great reviews, right? Saying it's the best superhero movie ever, one of the top superhero movies ever, definitely the best DC movie we've ever had. So that is great. I'm gonna go check it out June 16th when it releases. But there are some things we want to talk about, right? They lead us down this tunnel that Zod is the villain, right? That he'll be the main villain almost, like because due to the timeline travel, Barry will end up at a point where he eradicated, okay, metahumans. So where's Superman? Now, here's what I want to get into. How could Barry do this? Simple timeline, simple coming in here and changing something can change everything, right? You know, the butterfly effect essentially, right? So my thing about that is, well, it's not my thing about it. It's just what could change for Superman not to not to come out? Well, if Barry saves his mom, right, and she sees something and she talks to them, and then he starts talking about metahumans early on. When Superman comes to Earth, or when Superman is on Earth, he may be apprehended. That could change everything, right? I don't know, right? But in this universe, we definitely know we have Kara, which is Supergirl. We've seen her all in the previews from day one, right? And it's pretty dope because we're gonna find out what changed. I would love, oh my gosh, blow the roof off this place if Henry Cavill is in there, right? If he's in the movie, even if it's 30 seconds, right? But we see at one point in the trailer, we see the yellow hand of Barry, where I have to undo what I did type of I have to undo what we did, right? Gets said in the trailer when you have the yellow sleeve and you can see it's touching a hand, appears to be laid out on rocks. I say that's important because who could that be, right? Maybe it's one Barry to another. Maybe it's maybe it's Michael Keaton's Batman, right? Doing his swan song because you brought him back. Um, it's possible. It's possible. Maybe I would love for Henry Cavill, please. Remember, we got Gal Gadot and Shazam. I would love to see every member of the Justice League in this movie, even if it's just Barry running through and you see, you know, and that gives you options to even show other movies. So with the timelines, if you're gonna show other movies, I want to talk about Batman's timeline for a little bit, right? Michael Keaton was the first two Batmans movie directed in 1989. Tim Burton, right? And they both stopped after the first two movies. Then we got Val Kilmer. Then we got George Clooney, right? Are those different Batmans? As a kid, we're almost led to believe that it's the same timeline because back then they weren't talking about metaverse. They weren't not metaverse, but multiverse. But now as an adult, where we're getting multiverse, is it possible those are all different? Like Michael Keaton's Batman had Vicky Vale, right? We never saw her from her again. The city was different looking. Like it, it's a lot because when you start saying these are different Batmans, that opens a lot of doors. Was Metahumans available then? All right, because when the Flash confronts Batman and talks to him, he's like, "You want to get nut?" Oh my gosh, go back and watch 1989 Batman with Jack Nicholson. That's what he told. That's what he told Jack Nicholson before Jack Nicholson shot him. They've gone out of their way to drop the Easter eggs and really pay these movies off, and which is why I think Michael Keaton could die. But if he doesn't die, he'll have a nice ending where like he's like, okay, now I'm truly retired. I'm done. I've seen it all. I took out a Batman villain. I mean, I took out a Superman villain, right? But I mean, they gave him the whole host of toys. They got him looking great. We see Ben Affleck in there. I really feel like Ben Affleck will be in the beginning of the movie, and that's it. And that's it. And the reason why I say that is because he's not as marketed as Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's highly marketed, in this movie, and it's like it's almost revolving around. It's like Batman and the Flash movie, right? It's really coming off like that. But the question I want to ask is because when you have these Batmans and these timelines, okay, what it would have been. I'm not even sure we're not gonna get it right because we got Michael Keaton. What if they bring back the guy who played Zod from the Superman movies? Is it possible? I'm sure. Maybe a cameo. It's just so much, right? So with that being said, it's a lot. But we have to look at all the universes. Let's look at how the DCEU started. It started with Man of Steel, right? Now Man of Steel has me wondering about certain questions, right? And questions I have is Kara already around in the DCU and we don't know, right? I'm going to say yes. And the reason why I'm going to say yes is because go back and watch Man of Steel. When he enters that pod for the first time, remember, he came in a crashed ship. His parents sent him off, right? When he discovers the ship and he goes in it and he sees the pods, I think it's 4 pods, maybe it's 3. Dust off the pods, sees the bodies. There's one pod open. There's no body. And he never sees the body. You mean tell me there's a Kryptonian on Earth? Hmm. The general, when Superman asked me, "You're not afraid," maybe he has high level clearance that they already know about Kryptonians enough because they have one in custody. So we as audience may not know this. We may be finding this all out here. Now, Zack Snyder.
I'm like, what if the crash in the Superman ship, that is whatever thousands of years ago, a Kryptonian scout ship crashed on Earth. Everyone died and crashed. One of the crashes is open and the person's gone. So you're saying that there's a Kryptonian here on Earth somewhere other than Superman. Among my fans, it's like a question I get all the time. Who was in the crash? I have a pretty good idea who was in the crash, but I don't know if we'll ever know. I don't know if I'll ever say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what do we have to say about that? Right? Zack Snyder is telling you, but he's not telling you, but he's telling you, right? Um, that's a thing where it just opens these doors because is this Zod from that universe? If Kara is here, like okay, DCEU, Snyderverse. I mean, well, Whedonverse, whatever, right? But Man of Steel happened, Zod happened. If Superman's not available, right? Because Flash has time traveled back, does that mean this Zod is different as well? You know what I'm saying? Like, did this Zod go through different, you know, maybe Kryptonian didn't explode in this Zod's way. Like, and so Zod is here as a general, here to expand on Kryptonian dynasty, right? Empire. Is that going to be, mm, let's go DC. Now, some things I don't like that aren't in the trailer, nothing to do with the trailer. If this is a reboot, a soft reboot, hard reboot, whatever you want to call it, why are we still getting movies after this that are going to end? Meaning, if the new DCU starts with The Flash, right? We still have Aquaman 2 coming. That's not a part of. So it's. And whatever. We will see. I feel like this is undue pressure because if this movie does what I think it's gonna do, right? And what I think it's gonna do 2 things. One, box office, do I think it'll break $1 billion? No, right? And the reason why I say no is the Ezra Miller thing. Do I think it'll do close to $1 billion? Yes, I do think it'll break $750 million in the box office and maybe higher, but I don't know if it'll crack $1 billion. If it does, great, right? But I do think this might be one of the best movies, bar none, right? Spider-Man: No Way Home could have been up there, right up there with it. Um, it'd be nice to see DC in the top 10. When you look at all-time movies, there's a couple Marvel ones, right? There's Endgame, there's Infinity War, there's Spider-Man: No Way Home. So it would be nice to get a DC movie in there because the type of characters they have, people love. So Batman, Supergirl, Flash, yeah, battling General Zod and a negative flat, not negative, a dark Flash. That would be very good, right? So I think throughout the trailer we see also timelines converging, right? Because you hear Kara like, "What did you do? What you tripping for?" You know. But if you see two General Zod ships collide, because in the trailer, right, you see the General Zod ships collide, and you see the same red, blue with yellow smoke and fire, and that could be the how the movie is trying to display timelines converging on each other, and that would be a problem, right? So how do you take out a General Zod ship? Well, if General Zod ship reappears because you have two timelines converging in on each other, and they take each other out because they're in the same place at the same time, that could be a problem. But yet, also in that trailer, we see the Batwing coming right through that, or shortly thereafter, or looking like it will shortly thereafter. So it's very hard to tell what that's going to be. But just know this: June 16th, we have the Flash coming, so it ain't that much time. It ain't that much time. We're really looking at about 6, 7 weeks. Easy day. So, what do you think? How do you think? Do you think the Flash is a good reset? Do you think? Chill. Let's talk about some other stuff, right? With these timelines that the Flash is going to get rid of, do you think they're just going to really show you two? Like, that was one thing that made me mad about Multiverse of Madness, right? Was you said it was the Multiverse of Madness, but you focus on A3 and 616 Earth, right? He did a collage through some other universes, and that was pretty much the end of it. Do you think we get that with the Flash, or do we think we might get a collage, but we might get like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds of other universes to show, oh my goodness, there are other universes. It wasn't just these two. This is where we're primarily focused, but at the same time, there's other universes. Do you think we'll get more than what we got with the Multiverse of Madness? I think so. I hope so. Please, because again, my thought is even with the Batmans, because each Batman is a different Batman, like different universe, right? Man of Steel, you have the Snyderverse and you have the Whedonverse, and I almost feel like those are two separate universes. Why not at this point, right? Because all it takes is slight variation to change something. So, and you can go, separate ways and separate, So, with that being said, Snyderverse could be its own thing, separate from the Whedonverse that actually came out in the theatrical release. So that, you know, so many options, so many things. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to come back, break this thing down even more, look at some more stuff. This is the second trailer. Movie comes out in about 6 weeks, so start looking for TV spots. Okay, about 5 weeks from now, 4.5 weeks from now, we're probably gonna get the advanced screening where people are gonna go in and we're gonna hear firsthand about it. So that should be awesome. All right, but what are your thoughts on this below? Do you think we'll see Gal Gadot? Do you think we'll see Henry Cavill? Do you think we'll see, Cyborg, Aquaman, you know, Zachary Levi, Shazam? That'd be awesome, right? Um, just as a nice little send off because you got to send these characters out since you're bringing in the Peter Safran's, James Gunn DCU. So, do we get an entire Justice League cameo? We will see. But as promised, the Eye of Agamotto is still up for grabs, right? So the Guardians movie getting ready to release next week. We'll be giving this thing away for that. But to give it away, you want your name on the list. So how do you get your name on? Right? One, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the video, and that will automatically enter you into the drawing. Feel free to comment on as many videos and like as many videos. Remember, that's a two-part process. Like and comment, right? That'll count as a vote if you're subscribed. If you like and comment and you're not subscribed, guess what's not going to happen? You're not going to be entered. Okay. So again, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and if you could do your boy a favor and go ahead and share it. But that's pretty much it. That's all I got. I just really wanted to talk about this trailer and this. Oh man, is this the same Zod? I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to come back with another one. I would like to see a little bit more. But it's not Superman, so therefore, whatever altered to make Superman not be present might make Zod a different Zod, and it might be a stronger version of Zod. But we will see come June 16th. But that's pretty much it. Until next time, stay tapped in, support the channel. Love y'all. Peace.